Look here. For the Trayvon Martins and the new hustlers starting, the ones who's departing, this is straight from my heart. And pain that I feel can't mask my rage. I understand why people go postal and blast the gauge. So many years of suffering, we had enough of it. Poverty's getting worse, it's getting rough, isn't it? Sick of hurting, afflicted with burdens, stress on my nerves. For this I'm certain. Leaders is talking, they say it's working. I say they full of it, let's pull the curtain. Promises, promises, they keep on lying. Hunger rates are going up, police abuse is rising. Kids out here dying, mothers in churches crying. Wasn't this on the forecast predicted by the Mayans? So what we up against is an evil intention. We gotta break back, hit back, dissolve the tension. Trayvon Martin, put your hands up. Eric Garner, yo, put your hands up. Michael Brown, yo, put your hands up. Then Sandra Bland, please put your hands up. Sean Bell, let's go, put your hands up. Amadou Diallo, let's put your hands up. John Crawford, yo, put your hands up. Tamir Rice, it's time to put your hands up. Like I live it. Peace, blessings, salutations. Yarima Karama here with another segment of Voices from Behind the Wall. That was a song off of my upcoming album, Up from the Trenches, Out from the Tombs. That song is entitled "Put Your Hands Up," in solidarity with our fallen friends, loved ones, family members, comrades. So be looking for that, like I said, in each of my segments that I open with, either Voices from Behind the Wall or Real Life, Real Talk. These are the days of our lives. I'm going to open with a few lines from my new CD. And so, with that said, the topic I wanted to hit on today, I find it interesting. Well, it's not even interesting, but the brainwashing that takes place, but also the subliminal racism that takes place. In prison, the one thing that people come together behind is the Olympics, basically. A lot of people, and not everybody, but a lot of people come together behind the Olympics and rooting for the U.S. And I always found this because I always watch. And I was always the guy, I don't root for the U.S. So anybody who knows me knows that one of my favorite sports, or my favorite sport since I was a young tot, was soccer. And so my favorite team has always been Brazil because I like Pele. And wanted to emulate my style of soccer after Pele. One of my first gifts I ever got was a soccer ball. So I've always cheered Brazil. One of my favorite volleyball teams, women's volleyball, is Brazil. And then after that, Cuba. And so I remember times being in the TV room during the Olympics and, cheering when Brazil would score a goal on the U.S. And just the hate. I mean, from both black and white. It was like, and the only reason, I mean, hate to the point you could see their eyes turning red. Like, I dare you go against the U.S. And the only reason that it wasn't taken to a physical level was, one, because of who I am, but two, because there were soldiers who would ride with me, on stuff. Because remember, you got guys. The idle mind is the devil's workshop. So you got guys they always look for the drama, always look for it, because they don't have nothing else on their plate. And so being connected with those guys, they wasn't going to let nothing happen anyway. So, but these guys would get upset to the point of, I dare you go against the U.S. And oh boy, would I scream if the U.S. basketball team lost. Just to kind of rub it in, because it's kind of like, you know what? We get on this, the U.S. is everything. The U.S. is a bully, man, around the world. And what I would talk to guys from Russia. I would talk to guys from France. I would talk to guys from Asia. And,
And plus, I've lived outside the US. So I know that there are other beautiful places in the world, but what happens is it's always a way for governments to divide us. So we get on this patriotic type thing like the US, the US. And I was always like, no, Brazil, Cuba. And even American Cubans would get upset when I would scream for the Cuban women's volleyball team to win. They were like, Urema, really? And I'm like, yeah. Just because you don't know your roots, I do. Because at the end of the day, I know that 85% of the world is people of color. That the U.S. and the U.S. is only 1/5 of the world population, and Europe is, they don't make up a large European population. They just don't. The majority of the world is people of color. It's probably more like 2/3 of the world's population is people of color. But in any case, I found that that the one place that they could come together is sport and play with the U.S. Olympics. Whenever the Americans would be overseas battling, people could come together, black and white. And one thing in the prisons, the TV rooms they're pretty much segregated, and the staff, they go for it because they want to remember the staff in the upper echelon of the prison hierarchy, such as your wardens, assistant wardens, and all of that. They want to see people divided. They like that because as long as you're divided, that means you're beefing amongst each other and you're not beefing with our staff. So they do things to keep groups divided. They want that. And they will tell you that they don't, but it's BS. They do. And so the TV rooms would all be divided, but the one thing, they would always have a sports TV room because everybody doesn't necessarily watch sports. So they would have their sports TV room. And during the Olympics, you would have black and white coming together, cheering on. I would be in there cheering. There might be one other person with me who was cheering on one of our foreign teams, so to speak, which really isn't foreign, but that's what the U.S. calls it. We would be in there cheering, and people would be so upset. They would be so mad. Like friendships were lost because of that. And if you know about me, you know I give 2 F's about that. But the one thing I did find is that for all these people cheering, and now I get to the white guys, for all these white guys who were cheering, who would question me, like, really? You're just against the US like that? I would shoot back and say, it's funny because you say you're for the US, but whenever Serena and Venus take the court, whether it be in Wimbledon, whether it be over in France, whether it be over any place in any other country, you're always cheering for the foreign girls to win. You're always cheering on Sharapova. You're always cheering on Kim Clijsters. You're always cheering on anybody else but Serena and Venus. I find that interesting that you would be mad at me for cheering on other foreign teams, but you not once have ever cheered on Serena and Venus. So, and those, as a matter of fact, that's when I would switch back and be with the U.S. when Serena and Venus were on the court. But it's those underlying odes of racism that you deal with. And I always found it, like I said, I found it a little odd, because these are the same guys that would be screaming about the U.S. government is unfair. Prosecutors are trash. Judges are trash. Some of these guys would be innocent of their crimes, but they still had that solidarity. They still had that patriotism for the U.S. Some of these guys would, even if they had committed the crime, they would be laid out with so much time, would have been given more time than they should have gotten, but they would still be cheering for the U.S. and would be mad at me for not. But those same guys that they would build solidarity with, those same races that they would build solidarity with, would not cheer on Serena or Venus ever. You know, just some, and I'm sure it's like that out here. I'm sure it's like that out here. Same thing, because again, remember, prison is just a smaller microcosm of the larger society of what's going on out here. So again, I just wanted to hit that. It was just those type of situations that we would be in, that type of racist mentality that you just see manifest itself come to the surface, and you call, and me, I call a spade a spade. So again, my name is Yurima Karama. Connect with me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Go to my webpage, www.yurimakarama.com. You can go there for booking information. You can go there to message me if you want me to talk about a particular subject or topic that you want hit on. Go through my webpage and send me a message. And you can also go there to find out my upcoming performance dates and locations. With that said, I'm out. Peace, blessings, salutations, one.